Hello, my name is Robert Ogum, and today I'll be leading you through a discussion of stochastic versus deterministic mental models and estimates. I'm going to start off with a quote, and this quote comes from George E.P. Box, a British statistician. He says, "All models are wrong, but some are useful." And that quote is very pertinent in the world of intelligence as we're constantly creating estimates to assess risk and threats. Of course, everything that we come up with is a model created from thought and is not truly what it's seeking out to model, but they're still useful. I also want to give you guys this quote. "The map is not the territory." And it's a quote by someone called Alfred Korzybski, and he was the developer of general semantics. He also talks a lot about the map-territory relationship. And what that means is that there's a relationship between an object and the representation of that object, but it's not a one-to-one. There's always differences. An example would be a map, which takes the globe, which is spheroid, and puts it flat onto a piece of paper, which causes a lot of distortion. So this map that you see here is just a mental model. It's not really the way the Earth looks. It's come to be the way that a lot of people envision the Earth to look. For a map to be perfect, it would have to be literally the exact same size as the Earth, which would be absurd. Let's talk about deterministic estimates. Think of it as a simple function, f of x, gives an exact determination. For example, compound interest, if we plug in the values for the formula, I can come up with an exact determination in the future point of what my bank account value is going to be, given that I can plug in everything and come up with a single point, single function, f of x, that'll be my estimate. Stochastic models and estimates are a lot different. They express ranges, such as in the terms of likelihood. Low, medium, and high, that's something that we're all used to. On the left panel, you see this typical cool to warm that we are so used to, it's not even funny. Low, medium, and high. Another example of a stochastic model would be weather reports. Oftentimes you'll see a weatherman say, there's a 70% chance of rain on so-and-so date. Really what they're saying is that it's likely to rain. A 70% range is most people's mind schema is likely. So I say it's 70% chance of rain on Tuesday in qualitative terms. It's likely to rain on Tuesday. It's easy for us to get a grasp around this. But the gist about stochastic models is that there's a range of values. It's not a determined point. If I wanted to be deterministic in my estimation of the weather, a weatherman would say, it's going to rain tomorrow. Like, it's going to rain at this time for this amount, this hard. That would be deterministic. Let me give you another example of deterministic and stochastic estimates and mental models. Let's say I wanted to determine a future stock price. Let's take Starbucks, for example. Ticker symbol SBUX, which trades on the NASDAQ. This is the price on January 19th, 2023. If I say that the price of Starbucks is going to be $100 on April 3rd at 10 a.m. Eastern, that's a deterministic estimate because I'm giving you a fixed point, a determination. Now, this is regardless of whatever methods I used to create the estimate. It's still deterministic. If I were to say Starbucks stocks will be worth between $85 and $120 on April 3rd at 10 a.m. Eastern, that is a stochastic estimate because I'm giving a range of values. I'm not giving you a single point. I'm giving you a range, so that's stochastic. Let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages for stochastic and deterministic models. With a stochastic model, you get a lot of nuance, which is huge. So you've got some room for error within your bands, your high, medium, and low. Within each of those sectors, there's a range of values where your answer lies within. The disadvantages would be disparate interpretation. So, for example, what someone deems to be high risk on the continuum could be an entirely different continuum of what another person thinks encapsulate high risk. If we take 0 to 100 in terms of risk, what one considers high could be different. I could consider high anywhere between 60 to 100. Another person could say high is between 80 to 100. So our mental schemas of risk could really be disparate. And if we don't stipulate what those differences are, we have a disparate understanding, things can get pretty tricky. Also, there's a false sense of security that can come from a low risk rating. If I say the risk of attack from this threat actor is low, and in our minds we say that a low risk means that I don't have to check up on it, we still have to understand that something that's low risk could still hurt you in the way that something that is deemed high risk is. That always has to be kept in mind. In terms of deterministic models and estimates, the major advantage is finality. If I say so-and-so is going to happen on this date, this time, in this place, or that this is the exact chance with no nuance, you know it, you get finality, and you can plan accordingly. The disadvantage is there's less nuance here. And if the estimate is off, you're either wasting your time and the resources or you're looking in the wrong place, depending on what kind of estimate it is. All right, it's time for a quiz. I've got 3 quiz questions. Let's test your knowledge. If I assess that the price of oil will be $120 a barrel on June 8th, 2023, what type of estimate is that? Answer, deterministic. And that's because I'm giving you a fixed point. And that fixed point is $120 on June 8th, 2023, making a deterministic estimate. Second question. If I estimate that the risk of flooding on the Louisiana coast is high for the month of January, what type of estimate is that? This could be a little bit tricky. Okay, that's stochastic, because I'm giving you a range within a continuum really of a risk band, low, medium, and high. I'm saying that it's high. So it's not a deterministic estimate. A more deterministic estimate in this case would be to really hone in on the date and the time for flooding. Last question. If I estimate that Boko Haram will attack in Sokoto, Nigeria, 7 p.m. Greenwich Meridian time on the 5th of May, 2023, what type of estimate is that? That's a deterministic estimate. It's because I'm telling you that Boko Haram, the terrorist group, will attack here, Sokoto, Nigeria, at this time on this day. It makes it a deterministic estimate. Think of the fixed points that I'm describing in my estimates here. No matter what analytic technique I use to come up with it, because I'm fixing those points geographically and with time, that's a deterministic estimate. All right, that's it for my presentation. Thank you for your time, and I hope you learned a little bit more about how we come up with estimates and mental models. Thank you.